Let me just hit Okay, so the purpose of today's webinar is for newbies and also for millionaires that maybe they've been around for quite some time, but they haven't jumped on one of these webinars. The purpose of this webinar is to make sure that you are maximizing your membership. So welcome to the millionaires that just joined us. We have introduced ourselves. So whether you're brand new or whether you've been in the club for quite some time, what I was saying was the purpose of this webinar is to make sure that you are maximizing your benefits, okay? So what we do during this webinar is we get you started, right? So we wanna make sure that you get started on the right foot. If you've been in the club, perhaps you haven't been utilizing all of the benefits within the app, or you don't even know what the app is. Maybe you haven't been in Telegram, you're not plugged in and connected. So what we're gonna do today, and this call won't take any more than an hour, is we're going to make sure that you are plugged in, that you know how to reach us, what you can expect from the club, and then what we expect from you. So pretty much each and every one of these getting started right calls is the exact same. So if you've jumped on one of these, then you are more than welcome to stay if you like, but it's absolutely not required. You don't have to stay. If you are going to stay though, please go ahead and put your name in the chat and let us know what city and state you're tuning in from. If you're in the US, what country you're tuning in from, if you're outside of the US, and then your industry of expertise. So whether that's a 9-to-5 job or whatever type of business you have, we want to know what you want the world to know you for. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for jumping on. And let me introduce myself to you. So my name is Dr. Ashia Leonard, and I have actually worked with Dr. Jewel for 13 years now. Wow. So it has been 13 years, such a long time. And the reason that I met her is I started going to her ministry. So she and her husband pastor a church in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is really close to Nashville, where we live, and went to their ministry, became a member, shortly partnered with her in business for a different endeavor that she's not even really participating in now, but partnered with her in business. And then the relationship just really grew from there. Now, one of the things that happened is when I first met Dr. Jewel, I was a pharmacist and that's all that I was. So pharmacy was my background. I didn't know much of anything else, definitely had an entrepreneurial mindset, but wasn't really putting my hands to much of anything else, was just kind of maintaining where I was. But over that time, not only have I, my pharmacy career just blossomed and bloomed, but I became a pretty savvy investor in the midst of all of that, and also a writer. So now I own a copywriting and marketing company that is literally an international company, and we have clients from all over the world. I've been able to do writing for multiple multi-million dollar brands, and even a lot of those companies are on monthly retainers with us. So it's an agency, we have additional writers, I've got an assistant, and it's looking like pretty soon we're going to need to bring on even more people. Now, when I met Dr. Jewel, I was not writing. Okay, I didn't even know that that was a gift or a talent on the inside of me. And the reason that I love to share, thank you so much for the congratulations. The reason I love to share that at the beginning of this call is because that is what Dr. Jewel is gifted to do. She is gifted to absolutely bring the very best out of you, okay? And so there may be gifts, talents that you all have right now that you're unaware of, that those things will begin to blossom and they'll begin to bloom as you stay connected to the Millionaires Club, as you plug in, right? So we've got to go one step even beyond just having a membership but to being an active participant. Okay. Obviously, you all are hungry. That's why you're on this call, but staying plugged in to those wealth webinars that we have, staying active and communicating, not just with Dr. Jewel and the team, but truly networking within the community. So one of the benefits that you get as a part of your $29 a month membership, not only do you get the financial education that primarily comes in our wealth webinars. So we have those webinars twice a month. Okay, they're always, well, let's say 95% of the time, they're on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, so Sunday evenings, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, every other week, we have those webinars. Now, the reason I say 95% is there may be some cases where, due to Dr. Jewel's schedule or something like that, we have to schedule it on a different day, but you're always notified ahead of time. Okay, so those wealth webinars last for about an hour. They're always hosted by Dr. Jewel, someone from the team, or an expert in their industry that she puts in front of you. Okay, so she doesn't just bring anybody and have them speak to her precious Millionaires Club. These people are subject matter experts. They're experts in their field. They are getting high levels of results in whatever they're talking about. And she believes that this information is going to be beneficial to you in your millionaire's journey. So you want to make sure that you set aside that time, that hour, in order to build your wealth. You want to come prepared with something to take notes, be prepared to introduce yourself. Okay, so this is just kind of a test run of introducing yourself. We want you to be comfortable letting people know what it is that you do. Be comfortable letting people know what your industry of expertise is, right? Because if you can't even comfortably let people know what it is that you do on this webinar, how are you going to pitch to major investors, right? How are you going to pitch before major platforms? And so everything we ask you to do is purposeful. The other reason that we ask you to introduce yourself the way that you do is because we want you to see other people that are just like you that are a part of the club. So we want you to have an accountability partner. If you don't currently have an accountability partner, we really desire that you get one from inside of the club. Why? Because that person's going to be like-minded. So all of us are at a different place in our millionaire's journey, right? So some of us have reached millionaire status and we're trying to go from 7 figures to 8 figures, or maybe 8 figures to 9 figures, right? Which it takes a totally different mindset to go from 6 figures to 7. And then it takes even a different mindset to go from 7 figures to 8, right? So even if you're not there, even if you say, shoot, I'm just trying to get from 5 figures to 6, we understand that there's plenty of people in the Millionaires Club that are right where you are. So never be ashamed of wherever you are in the journey. Being a millionaire comes as a mindset before it actually hits your bank account. Okay. All right. So no matter where you are in the journey, you're definitely welcome, but we want you to get comfortable introducing yourself, because some people that may have similar backgrounds as far as industries, or perhaps they live close to where you live, then maybe you want them to be an accountability partner for you. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Millionaires Jackie. Hey, Jackie. Millionaires Jackie Morrison, who lives in Las Vegas, and she is a wealth strategist. All right. So if you've jumped on and you've not introduced yourself, go ahead at any time. You can put your name in the chat, what city and state you're tuning in from. If you're inside the US, what country you're tuning in from. If you're outside the US, and then your industry of expertise. Okay. So that can be whatever type of business you have, or your 9-to-5 job, just whatever you want the world to know you for. That's what you put. Okay. So if you're currently a 9-to-5er, but you are trying to get out of that 9-to-5 and you're building a business and you want to be known for that, you don't have to let us know where you work. Put whatever your business is, right? Okay. So let's, we didn't pray. So let's go ahead and pray real quick. Father God, we thank you in the name of Jesus. We thank you for this day. We know that it's the day that you have made, and we choose to rejoice and be glad in this day. We are so grateful for the Millionaires Club. We're so grateful for Dr. Jewel. Your word says that you would teach us how to profit not only would you teach us, but you would lead us in the way that we should go. So we thank you that you're opening doors of opportunity, that you are illuminating the paths, that we would know all the steps that we are to take. We thank you that you're giving us strategies and downloads on ways in order to get the necessary resources in order to complete the assignment on our lives, in order to fulfill the purpose that you've placed on the inside of us. And we thank you for every divine connection. We thank you for every supernatural resource. We thank you for all the ways that you are showing us provision in every way and every day. Lord, help us not to squander this opportunity. Help us to be excellent stewards over the information, excellent stewards over the wealth that you cause to come into our hands, that you will show us exactly what to do with it in order to multiply it and grow it, to grow your kingdom, and in order to make all the impact that it was created to make. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, super excited for that. So one of the things that you should have received as soon as you join the club is a welcome email. Okay, so one thing that you want to note is whatever email address and whatever name you signed up for the club with. So our primary ways of communicating with you are going to be the email, whatever email you use to sign up with the club, okay? So I say that because we send out emails before the wealth webinars. You always get one 3 days before, you always get one the day before, you'll always get a reminder the day of. That is where the login link to the webinar is going to be. All right, so because you invest in this club, we don't want to just be putting the links to the wealth webinars everywhere. So the only place you're going to find it is in your email, because those emails only go out to paid active members. Well, all the time we get people telling us they didn't get the email. And usually what it is either they haven't checked their spam or their promotions folder, or they're checking a totally different email address than the one they used to sign up with the club. So if you're like me and you have a lot going on and you've got 12 or so email addresses, depending on the nature of what you want people to email you for, right? So you may be checking the wrong inbox. So just take note of whatever email you use to sign up for the club with. That's where we're going to send that information. Okay, we'll talk about joining the Facebook group here in just a moment, but you're going to use that same email address for the Facebook group and the same email address for the app. Okay. All right, so you got a welcome email to that email address you used when you joined the club, and there should have been several steps. Okay, so your email may have looked a little bit like this, or it may have looked a little bit different, but the components would be the same. So step number one, we want your beautiful photo. So we send out these digital American Express credit cards, which are welcome cards with your beautiful faces on it. And we can't put your face unless we have your photo. So if you don't send your photo in, we'll still create one with your name, but it'll have Dr. Jewel's beautiful face on it. But we don't want to see her, we want to see you, right? So be sure to send us your photo, and then also all the other members of the club can know exactly who you are. Okay, then step two is we want you to join our Facebook group. Okay, so we have an exclusive Facebook group for paid members only. In that group, we put announcements in there. We also put items of encouragement in there. We also put wealth articles and other information in there in order to constantly be feeding your wealth mindset. So wealth is something that you have to keep in front of your eyes, right? So I want to challenge you, if you've not been doing this from this point forward, I want to challenge you to spend at least 10 to 15 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes a day, if you can, with putting something wealth related before your eyes. Okay, so if it's a new investment strategy, it could be learning more about that strategy, really sharpening your skill set. Okay, if it's not that, it could be reading wealth articles, magazines, you know, maybe it's Entrepreneur Magazine, or maybe it's Inc. magazine, or maybe it's Forbes or Fortune, or maybe it's Robb Report, right? So maybe you're just kind of really just soaking up the luxurious lifestyle of the wealthy, right? So maybe it's something like that. Whatever it is, putting it in front of your eyes. Bloomberg. I mean, there's so many different things that you can be reading. Or it could be watching the replays of our wealth webinars. Just make sure that you're getting that information in front of you every single day. And we'll drop articles from time to time in our Facebook group in order to help feed the inner millionaires. Okay. Now, in order to join the Facebook group, you will click the link in the email. In addition to that, when you click the link, it's going to ask you several questions. You have to answer the questions. If you just try to bypass the questions and hit join, our administrator is going to decline your admission. So we literally get hundreds of people that try to join the exclusive Facebook group, but you can only get in as a paid member. So be sure that you actually put the name that you used to sign up for the club with, and also the email address that you used to sign up for the club with, and whatever information, whatever other information we're asking you for, be sure to complete that. Our administrator will take that information, compare it to our roster of active members, and then if everything matches, then she'll let you in. Okay. So with that in mind, we do ask that from the moment you request to join, then we ask that you give us about 48 business hours in order to let you in, because we do have to do that verification process. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Step number 3 is the Millionaires Club app. Now I saw somebody in the chat. Let me see, who was that? I saw, oh yes, Millionaires Venetia said that she loves the app. Well, thank you so much. We're excited that you absolutely love the app. We worked so hard on that for many years. So super excited that that has been beneficial to you. And we'll actually go through the app here in just a moment to make sure that you're utilizing all of the features that it has. Okay. So in order to get the app, you can download the app directly on your Android or your iPhone by clicking the buttons below, or you can just go directly to the Google Play Store if you have an Android, or the Apple Store, the App Store if you have a iPhone. Okay. All right. Great day, Millionaires Maryland. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. So once you download the app, this is what the app looks like. Okay. So this is just so that you know that you downloaded the right app. So this is what the app looks like. So make sure that it looks something like this. Now, once again, we do ask that from your initial request to join the app, then we ask that you give it 24 to 48 app business hours before you have the full capability of the app. You shouldn't have any trouble, but we do just ask you that ahead of time, just in case you're not fully able to get in and your information hasn't been verified. Okay, we'll go over it in just a moment. But if you look down at the very bottom of this slide, once you download the app, you will gain access to the exclusive content provided to club members within 24 business hours. Okay, that's what I was talking about. In some cases, people access it sooner than that. But what you're going to do initially is you're going to log in using the email address you used to sign up for the club, and then this temporary password. All right, so that's going to get you into the Millionaires Club app. Now, if you want to change your password to a personal password, you're still going to initially sign in with this information. But then after you do that, you're going to actually go up to the top, and you are going to click Forgot Password. Okay, so you'll log out and then you'll attempt to sign in again, but you'll click Forgot Password along with your email address, and then it'll email you a link, where you can customize your password. Now, you can't do that the first time. You can only do that after your account has been activated, so to speak, using the temporary password. Does that make sense? I want to make sure I'm not confusing anybody. Okay, so you do have to initially sign in with the email you use to sign up for the club, that temporary password. Within 24 business hours, you'll have access to everything. After that time, you can go and customize your password to whatever you'd like, or you can continue to use the temporary one. Okay. All right. Okay. Millionaires Marilyn King George says that she is a full-time clinical microbiologist and she's at work now. Okay. Well, thank you for jumping on while you're at work. She's a part-time health coach, multiple streams of income. Love it. And she does outreach services with centerofjoy.org with Pastor Marlene Joy in Brooklyn. And she is transitioning into full-time nutritional coaching services. So congratulations on your transition into full-time entrepreneurship. That is awesome. Congratulations to you. Okay. All right. So in addition to the app, and we'll actually go through the app once again in just a moment. Step number 4 is your net worth assessment. Okay. Now that net worth assessment does not come back to us. So we are not in your business like that. Okay. That net worth assessment is for you to be able to quantify your net worth. So it's really surprising because some people think that they're actually doing worse financially than they are, and they have a positive awakening when they do the net worth assessment. Others think they're really better off than they realize they are until they do the net worth assessment. Okay. So some people have equated wealth with all this stuff that they have, but then once they do the net worth assessment and they realize how much debt they have tied to all the stuff and how that calculates into their net worth, then they're like, oh, wow, oh my goodness, I've got to do something different. And so wherever you are, it's just great to know where you start. Okay. Another thing we ask you as a part of the club is that you give this 12 months to change your life. 12 months to change your life. Okay. So Jackie says, is it possible to get the welcome email again? I don't see it. Yes, it is. If you could, Jackie, just drop your email address that you think you used to sign up for the club in here, then I will get it over to our administrator, and Tasha will send you the welcome email again, but she'll also check on our mail server to see why it is that you probably didn't get it, to make sure your email address is in the right place. Okay, thanks so much for that. So you want to check your net worth now, then check it again in 12 months. Okay, you can check it in 6 months if you like, but definitely check it again in 12 months to get an accurate view of where you are. One of the things that you should find happening as you plug into the club is you're going to find that you go from consciously building and creating wealth to subconsciously building and creating wealth. So wealth creation is going to go from this thing that you have to focus on, that you have to be so intentional about, that you have to give your everything. It's going to shift from being that to where wealth is chasing you down. And because you're so wealth-minded, whereas you had to intentionally think like a millionaire, you're going to begin to automatically think like a millionaire. So over time, you will see that the way that you think about money and relationships and all of that will completely shift and change. And at that point, wealth and opportunities will be chasing you down to where you're going to have to be stretched and utilize different resources in order to even be able to handle it all, right? And other systems, you'll have to incorporate other systems and you'll have to bring on help and you'll have to have a team and all of that just to even be able to handle it all. And so once you start accumulating wealth automatically, whether that's you have different assets set up where you purchase them automatically or whatever that looks like. Once you start accumulating wealth automatically, you kind of end up in a place, so to speak, where you may have more than what you even realize that you have. Okay. So because you're not even thinking about it, you just kind of have your things set and you're investing without having to really think about it. You've got precious metals coming to your house and all kinds of stuff. And you're like, oh yeah, yay, my silver is here. Yay, my gold's here. But I wasn't thinking about the silver or the gold, but because I set the things up, it just showed up, right? So then you'll have to go back and recalculate where you are, and the net worth assessment will help you to do that. Okay, then we wanted to give you some ways that you can start investing and making money. So we didn't want you to have to wait until the next wealth webinar or wait until we drop the next wealth nugget in the chat before you can start investing and making money. And we didn't want you to have to wait until you've accumulated a certain amount of cash before you can start investing and making money. We wanted to give you some steps right off the bat that you can start implementing. So I'm not going to click on the button, but some of these things maybe are $5 in order to get started. And so no matter where you are in your wealth journey, it's something that everybody can participate in. It's completely optional, but it does give you some options. So you can't say we weren't trying to help you get the bag. No, so it does give you some options so that you can have some ways to go ahead and start investing and making money no matter when you start or where you are, okay? Then step 6 is going to be confessions. So Dr. Jewel strongly believes in the power of confession. So these are actually confessions that she speaks over her life every single day. Okay, so these are ones that she created. So the downloadable version is just going to give you a PDF that you can print off. You can put it on your bathroom mirror, on your refrigerator, keep a copy in your purse, keep a copy in your car, just wherever you like, so that you're constantly seeing these things about yourself and saying these things about yourself. Then we also have the audio confessions. If you want to listen, then it'll give you an MP3 where you can just listen to her, repeat after her, and it gives you the audio. So wherever you are, whatever your preference is, then you have that. Okay, all right, thank you, millionaires. Jackie, got your email address. Okay, all right. So anybody have any questions so far before I move over to the app? I know I went through that kind of quickly. Please let me know if you have any questions. Not yet? Okay, let me go ahead and have you to mark your calendars. So our very next Millionaires Wealth webinar is going to be not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday. So Sunday, June 13th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Login information, once again, will always come to your email that you use to sign up for the club. Be sure to check your spam folder and your promotions folder if you have Gmail. And you will get an email reminder 3 days before the webinar, the day before, and the day of. Also in our Telegram group. Oh, let me show you that real quickly. Sorry, I almost forgot about Telegram. Okay, so I'll share my screen and I'll show you that. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, and let's do, okay, do not disturb is on. Perfect. All right, Telegram. Okay, so here's Telegram. Now, one thing I do want to show you all, when you need to reach out to the team, okay? So if you need to reach out to the team, then the first way, if it's a question that's not time sensitive, the first way is going to be to send an email to, and I'm putting it in the chat, millionairesclub@jeweltankard.com. Okay. All right. So if it's not just urgent, meaning it's something that you need an answer for within the next hour to 2 hours, then go ahead, send a message to millionairesclub@jeweltankard.com. And Tasha, our administrator, will either contact you directly, or if it's a question that somebody else needs to answer, then she'll still reach out to you, even if she has to set up a private Zoom time with you or whatever. She's going to be the point of contact and she'll get back with you on that. Okay. If it's outside of that and you really need a more quick answer, then you can reach us on Telegram. But I would prefer if you would send a message in the Millionaires Club chat. So in this group that you see here, okay? So if you can just put a message in there to us. If it's something private, then you can still do a message in the main group. So tag one of us. So that is me, Marquita, or Camille. Tag one of us in here and then send us a private message. Okay, please don't just send a private message. And I'm going to show you why really quickly. I'm going to show you all the Telegram chats that I have, and it gets caught up and missed so easily. Okay, so you see all these chats, you see all this stuff in Telegram, all these different Telegram chats. Okay, and I don't even check all of those, right? So unfortunately, sometimes what happens is a millionaire will send me a private message and I may not see it for a few days. And so tag us in the main group, and then it will notify us. We'll get a notification and it'll be easier to see that way. Or if you do send a private message, then at least tag us in the main group and say, hey, I sent you a private message. So we still get the notification and we know to check it. Okay. All right. So Telegram is amazing because it is really where the majority of the community aspect, the networking aspect, is going to come in for the club. Okay. So even though we do have chats within the app that we'll see in a moment, most people prefer Telegram. Part of the reason is there's several different investment groups on Telegram, and other businesses use Telegram for other reasons. And I think people are already on Telegram. And so it's just easier for them to go to what they're already on. But if you kind of see here, people drop in financial articles and things that pertain to what we're learning about, they'll drop them in here. Also, sometimes there may be some fasting things, like Dr. Jewel will post in here if she wants us to fast together as a group. Sometimes Dr. Jewel will post special videos and things in here only for members. Also, we love to celebrate one another. So if you have a testimonial, something amazing that's happening for you, or if it's something that you'd like for us to pray for you for, then we all understand that what is said in the club chats stay in the club chats. So we're more than happy to cover you in prayer. Also, we're more than happy to celebrate you. So we had some people in here over the last couple days. Let me try to go back up here. So Dr. Jewel was in here just dropping some wealth nuggets, which she'll do as she goes throughout her day. We had Millionaires Davina talked about her new home that she got and that she is hiring some help. So she's hiring a housekeeper, and she talked about how a couple years ago, Dr. Jewel talked about the importance of hiring help. She wasn't at a place where she could do it then, but she's at a place where she can do it now. So we celebrated that wealth nuggets that I dropped in there. So we have all this thing just goes constantly. Okay. So it does have a lot of activity. Plus, we also have announcements of upcoming webinars and things like that. So Telegram is going to make sure that you have all of the latest and up-to-date information. Now, because it can be a lot, some people, that's a lot of activity for them. Everything that is vital is going to come to your email. So any type of announcements about club chats, you'll also get in your email. Any announcements about upcoming webinars that Dr. Jewel is doing that she wants the club members to participate in, that'll also come to your email. Any announcements about things like this, getting started right chats, will come to your email. Replays. So every single webinar that we do, we always record. So if you don't jump on, don't worry. We always record it. We always send out the recording within 72 hours to the email. Yep, you guessed it, that you used to sign up for the club. So that's going to come to your email as well. Okay. Any upcoming events, right? So like whether it is the blueprint. So we just left Millionaires Experience, which was absolutely amazing. Okay. And then we also sold tickets for the next one that's coming up September 10th and 11th. The people that came to this one nearly almost bought all the tickets up. So there's only, well, I haven't checked today, but as of yesterday, there was, I believe, 6 tickets left, but information for that will also come to your email. So all of the main things are going to come to your email, but Telegram gives you an opportunity to really connect with the other ladies. If you've not done so, I would recommend that you jump in there, introduce yourself. Once again, let them know who you are, where you live, what you love to do, what you're known for, how excited you are to be about the club, and it'll give you the warm fuzzies when everybody reaches back out to you and tells you congratulations for joining and welcome. Okay, let me show you also really quickly before we go to the app. I wanted to show you a picture really quick so these are some pictures from the Millionaires Experience that we had in Chattanooga, but sorry, scrolling really quickly. Okay, here we are. So these are the pictures of the welcome cards. This is why we ask you for your photo, okay? So that we can tell you hello, okay? All right. And there is Millionaires Venetia right there. So some of you have sent in your pictures already. Thank you so much for that. If you've not, go ahead and get those in, because you see, if you don't send in your picture, then we'll still put your name, but it'll have a picture of Dr. Jewel. Okay, and we want to see you. So be sure to give us your pictures for that. Okay, all right, so let's check out the Millionaires Club app. Okay, so oh, okay. She said, I'm still seeing the chat. Okay. So let me stop sharing. Thank you for letting me know. And let me reshare. And hopefully you can see it. Oh, she said it was fine. We saw the app. Oh, okay. So I'm not sure why that person was seeing the chat, but no problem. We'll start broadcast again. Oh, but we didn't see the welcome photos. Okay. 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 You know what? Then let me do this really quickly. Telegram. Let me just take a screenshot. And then, okay. Screenshot. And then I can share that picture, because I do want you all to see that really quickly. photos. Okay, can you see it now? Okay, so this is just a screenshot that I took from Telegram. Can you all see that? This was, yes, okay. All right. So this is why we need your beautiful pictures, okay? So that you can see what the welcome cards look like. So we drop those in Telegram and we drop them in the Facebook group, okay? And so everybody's telling you, welcome millionaires, welcome millionaires, welcome millionaires. And if you weren't connected into Telegram, then you missed it. So you didn't even realize that we were celebrating you and you didn't even know. So that's why I say go ahead and introduce yourself officially if you've not done so, and let them know who you are, what it is what you love, where you're tuning in from, okay? Okay, all right. And then if you don't send us your picture, then this is what it looks like. It has Dr. Jewel's picture with your name, okay? So we still welcome you, but it's not the same as when it actually has your photo, right? So that's why we want you to send the pictures. Okay, all right. So thank you for telling me that. And I will stop share on that, and then we'll go back to the app. Okay. Share my screen. Okay. All right. Okay. So where to send the photos? So if you did not get a welcome email, let me know. But literally, it's an autoresponder. So the moment you sign up for the club, our system sends you that welcome email, and there's a link. Step one is for you to send us your photo, and there's a link for that. Okay. If for some, that's the preferred method. If for some reason you can't use the link or you don't see it, then you can send your picture as an attachment in the email address I put in the chat. So millionairesclub@jeweltanker.com, but you will need to, in the subject line, you'll need to put welcome photo. And then you'll also need to put your first and last name in the body of the email along with the attachment. Okay. But the absolute preferred method is for you to click the welcome email. Okay. All right. And this timed out. Sorry about that, you guys. It may do that a couple more times. Gotta love Zoom. Okay. All right. So this is the Millionaires Club app. Now, the Millionaires Network, we put information in there from time to time, not even consistently. That's something that people can see if they're not even a paid member of the club. Okay. So technically, anybody can download the app. But if they're not a paid member of the club, they'll only be able to go inside the Millionaires Network chat group. And really, there's not really hardly anything of substance in there. It just kind of gives them a little bit of an idea of the type of information they would receive if they were paid members of the club. But once you're active, then you can access this Millionaires Club chat group, okay? And then all of these accountability chat groups. So we're going to click into the club chat group. Now, this is a main chat, okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Once we started back using Telegram, a lot of people preferred Telegram. So as far as the chat goes, we really don't use this chat a whole lot anymore, okay? Everything that we were posting in here, we are now posting in Telegram as far as the chat. Okay, all the other capabilities we do still use, but I just wanted to click on that so you can know where it is. Also, you see how Millionaires Penny posted a question in here? And I did answer her question, but it was quite some time between the time she asked and when it was answered. So I would not recommend posting a question in the club app chat. Put it in Telegram because we're looking at that on a daily basis. Okay. All right. But let's talk about some of the features we are using. So at the very bottom here, where you see this home button, then that's just going to take you back to the beginning. Also down here at the very bottom where you see, it looks like a calendar, that's going to give you a calendar of some upcoming chats and some upcoming of Dr. Jewel's talk show. But the best way to get the upcoming chats is going to be your email. And then if you click the play button here, you can see some of the chat replays, okay? So all of them are not here, but you do have a good amount of them that are here. This is one of the ways that you can access the replays. Okay, the other way you can access the replays is, you remember how I told you we send out the replay for each chat 72 hours after the chat ends? On the bottom of that email is a button where you can access all of the rest of the replays that we've had previous to that one chat. Okay, so that's a place where you can access all of them. But this is another place where, you know, if you don't want to go shuffling through your emails and all that kind of thing, this is a way just to really quickly get access to a chat. Let's say, for example, if you decided that you want to, right, we're constantly building our wealth mindset. So maybe while you're walking or jogging, you know, instead of listening to a podcast, maybe you decide you want to listen to some of the chat replays. So you just come into the app, you click the play button, and then you go in here and you listen to any one of these, right? So wealth is something that you want to constantly hear about all the time. So you literally could pick any one of these and it's going to be really, really good information. Even if you've heard it before, it's just recommended that you keep it before your eyes, keep it in your ears. Okay. Then the last button is a blog. So these are just some financial blogs, whether it's about what you eat, financial basics, using social media to build your brand. These are just all really, really short, very practical articles that give you nuggets that you can implement very quickly and use in order to increase cash flow, increase your financial wealth, increase your wealth of knowledge, all of those things. So just in your free time, jump over here, read a blog. You remember we talked about 15 minutes a day or so, 10 to 15 or 15 to 30. This is something that you can do. Maybe this is how you want to spend some part of your 15 to 30 minutes is jumping on here, reading a blog that can improve your wealth mindset. Okay. All right. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go at the very top right-hand corner where you see the 3 lines up here. This is how we're going to get a menu, okay? A lot of people ask about their profile picture. So in order to change that picture, you just hit the pencil right over your picture. And then this other picture, so I just put a picture of hummus and some veggies. That's what I had when I was doing this. That's what I had in front of me when I was doing this. But nobody sees that but you. You have to actually hit edit on the big picture, and then you'll see it pop up where you can edit the small picture. Okay. And then everybody can see your profile picture. All right. So this blog tab here is going to be the exact same blog that we saw at the bottom of the screen. We also have resources that you can get in the app. Okay, so this is more of a wealth library. So these are all PowerPoint presentations that were created. They're all short and sweet, but they talk about everything from improving your credit to cash flow streams. Some of these you've heard of, some of these I guarantee you've not heard of, to types of business structures, funds management, why you should not commingle your funds, how to set up multiple accounts, things like that. So just tidbits of wealth resources that are all very easy to understand, that are explained. So what I like to recommend is, if you're starting a new business, a new venture, and you just kind of want to get some more information, I want to challenge you to check out the app first. So check out the resources in the app first. If it doesn't have a topic that you need, then go to Google or then go to another resource. But at least come and check out the app, because you have it at your at your disposal to use. Okay. Next, we also have links. Okay, so these links are going to be some links of some of the most common things you're going to hear Dr. Jewel talk about. Okay, so whether it is from investing in silver to books that she has recommended that you read, to platforms for investing in crypto, ledgers for saving and accumulating crypto, all of those. If you say, well, where do I go to find this, or where do I go to find that? It's probably a link for it here in the links tab, and you can just click on it. It'll take you directly to the website that you need. Okay, so these are just quick links for your reference of some of the most common things. Okay. Excuse me. Then lastly, we have downloads. Okay. All right. So we didn't take that fourth quarter push off because it still had really vital information. But what these trackers are is, they are just electronic versions, and you can download these and print them off, of ways that you can keep track of your assets. So whether it's crypto, gold, silver, or liquid capital, we've got those here where you can download them and just keep a track. So what does that mean? That means, let's say if you decided you're going to accumulate liquid capital. Okay, so you said, you know what, I really just need to get my savings up. I'm spending all of my extra money getting rid of debt or whatever else. I don't really have liquid. I don't have money in a safe in my house. Okay, or maybe if you do, you say, shoot, it's only $500 in there. I'm nowhere near 10,000, nowhere even near 30,000, which is what Dr. Jewel recommends. So you said, I need to get my cash flows up, my cash stores up, right? So you might decide that you want to join the cash accumulation chat group here. Okay, so these 4 groups here are accountability groups. So what we also ask you to do in the club is to take 1 or 2 different assets and focus on accumulating them for the year. Does that mean you can't invest in multiple things? Absolutely not. So many of us are investing in multiple things. So that's fine, but you need to choose a focus where you can really drill down and narrow in and say, for the next 12 months, I am focused on accumulating in this area. Then after that, you can move on to something else and really focus in on accumulating. Okay. All right. So let's say you say cash accumulation. Okay. And I'll use that because that was what I used for the last time. Okay. All right. So we've got pictures in here of different cash accumulation methods in here. Everybody in this group has said they want to accumulate cash. Okay. So we've got people saying what their goals are for the rest of the year, debt freedom and cash accumulation. And then other people, as they're working on their goals, they will actually jump in here and take pictures and put it in here for accountability purposes. Okay, so in addition to that, if you're accumulating cash, in addition to posting it in here, you can also go up to the lines, and this is what I was just showing you. Go to downloads, and then also select the liquid capital asset tracker. Okay, so you see it there, third from the bottom, liquid capital asset tracker. it'll download a sheet for you where you can actually write in every single time. Hey, I saved another $100. I saved another 500. I saved another 1,000. Whatever your goals are, you can just keep a track of it where you have something to look at and say, hey, I really did it. I've been consistent, right? So it's all about daily activity and accountability where you can show the consistency. Okay. Other downloads we have, this one that is now third from the bottom, necessity or not expenses. This will take you to a customized spreadsheet that Millionaires Camille actually created where, well, it's based on Marquita's money making methods, but Camille created the system to go with a process that Marquita had been using. Okay. So you go necessity and not expenses. The purpose of it is it actually helps you to find money that's already in your bank account. So where are you wasting money? Okay. So you'll list out all of your expenses and then you'll go through and say, is this a necessity or is this not a necessity? And it puts it in front of your eyes. Why in the world am I paying for Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and Paramount Plus and cable and all this stuff? I got $600 a month coming out in entertainment when really I don't really just need to be spending a lot of time with any of that, right? Now, that's not for everybody, because by all means, I mean, if you write TV shows and movies and talk shows and all of that, then yeah, you probably do need to spend some time watching something. But to have all of those different shows going on when you could really be spending time doing something else that's going to sharpen your skill set, what a waste, right? So what that does is, and this Zoom timed out. I'm not going to go back to it because we're done with the app. But what it does is it helps you list everything. Then you categorize what's a necessity and what's not a necessity. Okay. Now, also what it calculates is everything that you have said is not a necessity. It calculates those amounts for you. So let's say you put, okay, for Hulu, you're paying, shoot, I don't know, $50 a month for special Hulu Plus package, and you're paying $50 a month for Disney Plus. I don't even know how much it is, but let's say that you're paying for that and you don't need that. Let's say that you are still subscribing to, let's say you have a $50 a month Fabletics membership, but you haven't actually gone on to get any of the workout gear that they're selling. You just forgot you had the membership. So that's $50 a month. So you have that coming out. Then let's say, in addition to that, you have a gym membership that you're not using. So you either need to make the choice. If I'm paying for it, I'm actually going to go to the gym, or I'm going to stop going to the gym and I'm going to walk in my neighborhood, and then I'm going to save that money, right? So you have that. So let's say you have all of that and you realize, man, I've been wasting $400 a month. Okay. Then you take that $400. Also in links, we have a financial calculator for the employed and a financial calculator for the self-employed. You take that $400 that you realize that you have, you plug it into the financial calculator. And what that financial calculator does is it shows you how you can take that $400 a month and then drop it into other different buckets of accumulation. So maybe you'll have one bucket for savings account for this, another bucket for a different type of savings account, another bucket for investment account, an additional investment account, right? So maybe you want to add 2 more savings accounts and 2 more investment accounts. So it'll kind of show you, if you take that $400 a month and you divide it up into $100 per bucket, then how you can grow your money, right? But it keeps it in an organized fashion for you. So we have all of those resources for you right there on the app. So it's to your benefit to utilize those because you've already paid for them. Okay, so included in your $29 a month membership, you have access to the wealth webinars that we have twice a month. You have access to everything that we've shown you today, the Millionaires Club app that is a wealth of resources. You have a Telegram group, which is a serious networking tool. If you are not afraid to get in there and get to know people, right? Because there's so many wealth-minded and wealthy individuals in this group. Don't just only sit back and say, I'm only going to get answers from Dr. Jewel. I'm only going to get answers from the team. I'm only going to get answers. No, there's a lot of people that have been there, done that, bought the ticket. Whatever you're trying to do, there's probably somebody in the group that is either along the same path or has already done it that can give you some expertise. So don't be afraid to utilize those resources, right? And then lastly, wanted to let you know that also your $29 a month, a portion of that goes towards helping domestic violence survivors and single moms. So those are two very special causes that are near to Dr. Jewel's heart based on her own personal story. And so every single month that you pay your membership, what we do is we take a portion of that money and it goes towards women that are in domestic violence shelters, people that have survived domestic violence, and also single moms. Okay, around Christmas time, and you'll really get to see at Christmas, we've given away cars. Last year we gave away 2 cars to single parents. Also, we do Tech for Teens, so we give away computers and all kinds of technology to teenagers. We sponsored a school last year, especially because so many people were remote. There were still some teachers that said, hey, I don't have everything I need for my classroom. And so we were able to sponsor a school and get whatever they needed. So we just asked, what other supplies do you not have? What else do you need? We'll just take care of whatever else you need. So you all participated in that because it's a part of your membership. So not only do you get financial empowerment and education, but you're also giving back to other people. So wanted to make sure that you knew that as well. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for me? We are completely done. I know I've been talking fast and we kind of flew through all of this. Jackie, I will make sure that I get you that email. Let me take a picture of your email address so I don't forget it. And we'll make sure that you get that information. This session has been recorded. So just like with everything else, the recording is going to be sent out in 72 hours. Any questions? Okay, was this helpful to anyone? Are you all glad that you jumped on? You see there's so many benefits that you have in the club. Maybe you weren't aware, maybe you just kind of knew about the webinars, but you weren't aware of everything else. Please make sure that you're using the app, okay? Make sure that you're utilizing those resources. Make sure that you're going back and listening to these wealth replays on a consistent basis so that it soaks in, right? Because we want to go from consciously building wealth to subconsciously building wealth. We want to get to where we are building wealth on automatic. I'm creating wealth in my sleep. I'm creating wealth when I'm awake. Wealth is chasing me down. Opportunities are looking for me because I have set my life up in such a way and my mindset in such a way that money is chasing me down because it knows that it will be used to its maximum potential when it is in my hands, right? Exactly. So that's where we all want to get to be, to have that type of mindset and that type of reality. All right. So you guys said this is very helpful. All right. Well, happy June to you all. Praying God's best for each and every one of you. Super excited to have you as a part of the Millionaires Club. Definitely hang in there. Some of the things that you're going to hear are going to absolutely blow your minds and they will be over your head. I am not going to lie to you. Dr. Jewel is very unconditional, very not unconditional. Love is unconditional. Dr. Jewel is very unconventional. That's what I was trying to say. Dr. Jewel is very unconventional and very non-traditional. And so some of the things you're going to hear in the club, you will not hear anywhere else. Don't let it cause you to be afraid. Just stick with it. The testimonies of what other people have been able to accomplish will keep you inspired and motivated. Plug in, utilize the resources, and then you'll begin to see over time that you're creating serious momentum to building wealth beyond anything you've ever dreamed or imagined. All right, proud of you all for jumping on tonight. Thank you so much for jumping on, and we will see you in Telegram, or we will see you in a couple weeks at our next wealth webinar. Y'all have a blessed weekend and amazing June. Bye.